get this podcast going. You see my pink
How you
pump?
doing?
I'm pinker than a motherfucker. I'm cool to fuck up. Look. You see me? Yeah, I'm pink. I love that pink. All right, Mike.
You gave me a dog.
Hey, today I'm going to continue my podcast, and I got my buddy Mike here. He looked like a computer geek, but he's sweet, he tweets, and he's a beach. However that goes. You know what I mean? Burn. Okay. Today we'll talk about education. And as we know, everybody know that, first of all, my name is Willie Macaroni Tony. Wet Willie. Wet. Willie Wonka. I'm a man of many names, but one face. So don't get it twisted. All right. So introduce my boy Mike. This is Mike. I met Mike when I went to jail, and he was a jailhouse lawyer or a jailhouse law advisor. You know what I'm saying? And me, I was just Macaroni Tony. You know what I'm saying? I've been willifying people all my freaking life. You know what I'm saying? And even gave some people a piece of my willification. You feel me? Huh? So right now, I'm not trying to be an incognito. I'm just here with my buddy. Look at him. It's like he got them prison glasses on.
Can I be incognito?
No, you cannot be no incognito.
No.
You gotta be incognito. Because you was a Caucasian. You know what I'm saying? And me,
I bet.
I want y'all to understand my black needs. And if you cannot understand my black needs, I can break it down to you step by step. You feel me? So, the thing is that I'm not educated. I'm not undereducated. And I'm not uneducated. I do not have a from school.
Appropriately educated?
Yeah, I know that. I can also go with educated. But in reality, I taught my own self how to read, write, and spell. And I only had nothing but a 6th grade education. And I don't have no formal schooling. I got my GED when I was 40. When I was 40, yeah. And the only reason why I got my GED is because I was informed that you have to have an education in order to get a job. Well, I was hoodwinked, I was bamboozled, and I was flim flam. You really don't have to have an educated or a doctor degree or whatever in order to get a job. You just got to know
not with that impressive skill set.
Know what I'm saying? I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I first went to prison, I was 14 years old from a reformatory school for boys called Dozer School for Boys. It was in Marietta, Florida. And you do a research and you'll see that a lot of kids
pull that up.
A lot of kids was, killed and buried and like abused back then in those racial violent days of the early 1980s. And I went there when I was 14. And while I was there, me and another kid got in a fight. And I ended up going to jail. And they charged me, and I threw a child tantrum because they sent me in isolation for 30 days. I was terrified. But, you know what I'm saying? And so I threw a little child tantrum. I was up like maybe 5 foot, wore about 110, something like that. I was just a little kid, knee high. And one of the staff members that was training me said I kicked him and he had a hernia. To be honest, I have a memory like an elephant. I did not kick this person that claimed that I kicked him. And in reality, you cannot get a hernia by a simple kick. You get a hernia doing exercise or some kind of strain, when you pick up things, whatever. But anyway, I realized over 50 some years later, I really was innocent when I went to prison the first time. But the racial judge and the public defender, the Lord, the state attorney, all them bias, fight country, hillbilly, pluck wood, chicken eating motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just a kid. Like, why you gonna send me to prison for 4 years and try me as an adult for a aggravated battery I never committed? So I was caught up in that cesspool and sitting in prison surrounded by rapists, robbers, gangsters, whatever you call it, they were there. I'm just a baby lamb. Never really commit no hard crime. I was sit there to die. And once I realized what type of crime I was in,
You see that, right?
yeah, I see that.
A true horror story.
Yeah. It really was, man. Like them kids.
That's what I wanted people to know. Like, this place is like over a century. Courts were sending kids there, particularly black kids, and killing them and burying them. That's what the picture is. It's the makeshift graves. There was hundreds of bodies at the facility. It was crazy. And that's where you went. I remember reading about it.
But can you show them the folks that so they be able to like download that and read the story?
Just look it up. Just look up. Just look that up. It'll come
Florida.
It's the very first thing that pops up.
For boys, a
true horror story.
A true horror story.
Yeah.
And I want y'all to know where I came from. And they were not only killing black young kids, but they were sending a lot of black young kids to prison as a conspiracy to kill a black man. And we just were caught up in the system at that time. I did not deserve to get 4 years in prison for something I did not commit. The dude got a hernia from restraining me, and I
now remember too, so the audience knows. We looked this up too, and it's one of those things where it's like theoretically possible that an adolescent could kick somebody and cause a hernia if like 600 other crazy situations occurred at the same time, like the guy was standing in soap and slipped and hit this and did that, right? But they're saying it's not like you don't get a hernia from a kid kicking.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like, that's important for this story.
But at that time, being 14 years old, man, like I'm benighted, man. Like I don't know about no law. I don't know anything about, like the criminal system. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was just my trajectory through the legal system that led me up to this place, and they threw me in prison as a baby lamb.
And so, if anyone watching hasn't ever been to jail or prison, even if you do know the system and are pretty good at law and understand it, I mean, first of all, if you're just learning about law from the jail, good luck, right? Because there's 20 million little things that go on the side and all this crazy shit that you kind of got to just know, you know what I mean? And you learn over time. But to be 14 years old in a jail with the resources, you don't get shit. You don't get a computer. You don't get anything like that. You don't get, you're like, come on.
And no education.
Right. You got no education. And even if you wanted to educate yourself, you can't. There's nothing there to do it. And they certainly aren't going to fucking help you with law. Right. So,
right.
And most of them have really pathetic law libraries. Some of them you have to write the request of what you're looking for and send it off, and it comes back copies days later. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But so in other words, he was screwed.
Don't deviate. But the thing is this man, is that when a young kid my age was in that kind of environment, which is Jackson County, that would be around that. Right. And nothing but peckerwoods, rednecks, pluckwood toting, them kind of people, you know what I'm saying? But
known as the White House Boys.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's a lot of racism going on. And me, like I never really understood racism or anything like that at the age of 14. And I never really commit no hard crime. The only thing that I ever committed was stealing toys, bicycles, candy, food, everything that young kids do. Never nothing major. I never robbed nobody, broken no houses, killed nobody, none of that. You know what I'm saying? I go to a boarding school, report to a boarding school, and get in a fight with another kid, and go to confinement, and they sent me the third day, which I was terrified. And I threw a child tantrum. And it was two people that was strangling me. One black, one white. And one of them said I kicked him, and he had a hernia. I didn't know if I kicked this man. I don't even remember kicking him. But yet, they charged me as an adult and sent me to prison for 4 years or something that never happened. Because nowadays, you can look up hernia, it comes from either exercise or lifting something, what is it?
Strain, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way you get a hernia. So therefore, I went to fucking prison for something I didn't even do. And by them throwing me in prison at the age of 14, I went down to Boston Ross now. Somehow I realized I'm a baby lamb and I'm surrounded by wolves. I'm talking about hyenas. I'm talking about motherfucker will bite your whole jawbone off and won't lose no country. So when I realized the type of people I was around, so I had to become a baby wolf. And that's how I survived in order for me to retain my manhood. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about the age of 16, I've been in racial riots. I've been in gang riots. I've been in riot against law enforcement. You see all the cowards run up out their ass when they see 1,000 inmates go at them. But anyway, and I've been stabbed, tried to commit suicide. You know what I'm saying? But even at the same token, I was still learning how to be a better person. I was rough on the edge until I went to Florida State Prison at the age of 16 because back then that was they said all Florida violent reject inmates to Florida State Prison. Well, you're housed in a 6x9 cell, 24/7 a day. You know what I'm saying? You don't get no visit. You always want to take out for a shower for 5 minutes. And I remember my mom gave me a pair of brand new shoes. And red, black, white, high top. And I was showcasing I want everybody to see what my mom sent me. You know what I'm saying? Put my blanket on the floor, put my shoes on it. I went in the shower 5 minutes. Come back, my blanket and my shoes were gone. I cried. But I'm telling you, that's the very first lesson I ever had that now I know what it feels like if something precious is stolen from you. I found my country. From that moment on, from the age of 16, I do not steal from anybody. I might kill, but I will not steal. But anyway, so I'm in the 6x9 cell, and me and the officer got in the conversation. I threw scalding hot water on them and put me back there in the hole. I mean, in the box. We talking about in the box. You in a cell, and we can hear each other talk. We can talk to each other. But when he come out and go to the shower, or when he come out and goes to some kind of call out, they gonna shut this big steel door. Well, I don't know what he looked like. I was back there 6 months, and I never seen another inmate, none but also that came in to feed us. That's it. But anyway, I met this dude named Tommy Knight. He was on death row, FBI most wanted. He was a Black Panther member, an outlaw, and that some of bitch know that Kung Fu Young shit. You know what I mean? And the place where I am, it had the electric chair on the bottom floor, and it had Death Watch on the bottom floor. And every Wednesday they'll check the generator to the electric chair. And everything used to dim out, lights dim, they come back on. And this dude named Tommy Knight, who changed his name legally to Oscari Adar Muhammad. And I respect that dude. That dude taught me. Even though he was in like 2 cells down, and I never laid eyes on him, but he taught me how to read the dictionary. And once I began to read the dictionary and I had a knack for learning, then I started like educating myself. You know what I'm saying? Like it sent me back to the 6x9 cell, and I began to teach myself how to read, write, and spell. I ain't got nothing but a 6th grade education. So I started reading philosopher books, um, psychological books, um, self-help books. I began to read all that. And I kept on reading. My understanding began to grow. And I realized how much reading can help expand a person's horizon. And mine began to expand. But at the same token, I kept doing violent things. I don't see people get murdered over misguided words. I see people get murdered over a shot at ass or another homosexual or however. I have seen it done that. And I have growth. And I just grew and grew and grew. You know what I'm saying? And now, like I realize that reading does help. Reading really does help. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I love to read. Because it expands your mind. And your mind is like a rubber band. Brand new. But once you begin to stretch it, it will never return to its original dynamic. And I just kept snowballing.
I was getting another visual. And I was like, no.
What kind of visual that was?
Like,
yeah,
no,
a brand new rubber band. Like like when people like when they want to change.
So okay, you said, because we're at our magic number. You said something about 2 minutes ago about how you developed your conscience, and that is what I think is the key part of this Willie story that I heard. You get it? Like, because when I come to you and we meet, I see a man that has a conscience, and I know I can. You recognize like spirituals. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, I don't know your story. I don't know what the fuck you've been through, right? I probably do get it, similar shit, right? But I know that on a conscious level, like you're paying attention to things and you're intelligent and you think things over and you talk to people and you know what I mean? And that was where and you were trying to be a better person. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest take is that and what probably what one of the things we're trying to get across in this whole show is that that is not the norm for the jail prison world. You get it? Because there is really not much there to do that. And it's either you come up with the your own internal fortitude and whatever and decide to make this fundamental change in life and do it and you'll find resources when you start doing it. But it's not offered. That's why we have such a fucking high recidivism rate, right? And that's what this is about. We're about that both of us, we had two different lifestyles. My story's different, same end result, right? Basically, took two different paths to get to the same place. And we've been through this and now we've made it out and we're getting out and we want to, kind of help people with that kind of shit. So that's really what this is about. And I that's why I like your story. But when I wanted the people to understand how fucked up your situation was. You know what I mean?
We're doing it like everything like happens for a reason, right? You know what I'm saying? I do feel as though that I was predestined to experience the ordeals and adversities and obstacles that I had to face in order for me.
And you're not bitter?
No, I'm not, because I did 15 years in that 6x9 cell. And the only friend that I had were my books, my thesaurus, my dictionary, and myself. Many people that did that long in a 6x9 cell, to them, it's like they have some kind of mental problem. Maybe I got a mental problem. I definitely don't see that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But, when a person wants to change, he has to rehabilitate himself. Because prison authority, they like a boot camp. When you come in, they will divest you of all your humanity, all your sentimental value. You know what I'm saying? All your love for yourself. Because that's what they was designed to do. And they will not help build you up. So you must learn to rehabilitate yourself. And next time you get defecated to society from the belly of the beast, then you'll realize just how much smarter and kind and loving you can become. Like me, you don't see 10 years from now, where will I be? Too short one.
All right. Okay. All right.
Hey,
this is a good exit point. All right, folks.
Until next time.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, stay tuned. Like, subscribe, and help us out, support us. You know what I'm saying? Like, support me or whatever, man. I'm just trying to do something different. All right? I appreciate you listening to my podcast. God bless you, and salute.